Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Austin, Michael, and I are here with a guest. We have Lindsay with us. Welcome, Lindsay, to the Tribe of Nerds.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We're going to talk about the finale of Survivor Australia versus the World. So I guess to start it off, Lindsay, what has your experience been with Survivor and specifically with this season?
Okay, I'm Survivor obsessed, to put it lightly. One of my best friends has a party trick. Well, she'll ask me to tell random people at a party to name every single person that's ever been on Survivor and the winners in order, and I can do that. So that is very fun. I'm also a sorority sister to Parvati, and so very happy to see her on this season. I'm a huge fan of Tony, huge fan of Cirie. I'm a huge fan of Australian Survivor, so just excited to be here, excited to talk about it.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you're sorority sisters with Parvati. Like that has to be exciting. I mean, did you watch her from the beginning, like back in Cook Islands and
Yes, and I was a kid then, back in Cook Islands. I didn't even know she was my sorority sister at the time because I was a child. I hadn't even
right.
been to college yet. And just seeing her evolve throughout the years is amazing. Cirie is my heart, and Tony, I think, is the greatest of all time. So seeing all three of them play together has been really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Michael, Austin, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this finale, and Lindsay as well? Like, how did you guys think of this finale?
I have said for so many years that Parvati is the greatest Survivor player of all time. Parvati was robbed in Heroes vs. Villains. She played the best game. She should have been a two-time winner years ago. And now we live, all is right in the world. Parvati is a two-time Survivor winner. Who'd have thought? I'm so happy. She deserves it.
The third two-time winner ever. So, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, Mike took the words out of my mouth. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and elaborate it too much, but Parvati definitely played a great game. Luke played a great game also, but you just can't compete with Parvati.
No.
And I mean, Godmother, I didn't even remember she was here half the time. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't got a lot of shit to say other than the fact that Parvati took the reign and just ran with it. So, kudos to her.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into the Godmother. I do feel like the Godmother didn't have the worst showing. Like, I thought some of her moves in the game were really good, but then you get to this finale and we'll get to that final tribal council and everything she tried to claim got destroyed by Sarah. So
poor Sarah. She just came out there and said, I don't care.
We'll get to that.
I
Lindsay,
won't take Godmother slander. I love Janine. I think she played a great game. It was so good to see her again. But I just don't know why they never took Parvati out.
Yeah.
Like, of course they weren't going to win.
Yeah, I don't know why either. We'll get into that. I'll share my thoughts as we get into it. Lindsay, any other thoughts on this finale before we get into it?
I'm just going to agree with Michael here. I love Parvati. I love Janine. I think they're great, but for sure they would have been my first targets.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating. It'll go into my criticisms later of this season. And I just feel like certain things were definitely set up to be in Parvati's favor a little bit from the beginning. Not that they deliberately like rigged it for Parvati in any way, but I definitely think that certain things were absolutely in her favor. But we've also seen things not be in Parvati's favor and her still get through. So again, it just kind of solidifies the fact that Parvati is a great Survivor player. So let's get into this finale. So we open up obviously like summarizing the whole season as you know the finale recaps tend to do, and we're gonna get into it with the final four. And basically we have the whole storyline being set up throughout the season of Parvati and Cirie have played together for or known each other for so long. This is a 20-year storyline between the two of them. I mean, how do you guys feel about the storyline knowing that it goes back 20 years all the way to Survivor Micronesia?
I mean, I love that they promote it as much as they do. I mean, it's a huge cement piece of Survivor. If you don't know, like, these two as a pair from Micronesia, I don't know where you've been, right? So it's just cool to see it always just being brought back up. You can obviously see the passion that they want each other in the finale, sitting there, you know, giving their claim of why they should win. So I enjoy it. And I mean, again, if you don't know those two, how they work together, I don't know where you've been. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Michael?
I got emotional at several points during this episode with the stuff between Parvati and Cirie, especially later on as we'll go. And again, it just gave me a newfound respect for Parvati. I don't know if Parvati knew whether she could beat Cirie, but the fact that she felt like Cirie deserves her shot, she
Yeah.
at least deserves to sit at the end. And I think on some level, Parvati understands that everything she has achieved in Survivor, she has achieved at the expense of Cirie. Like Cirie was screwed over by a final two when they weren't expecting it in Micronesia, and Parvati rose to the top because of that. It's like she almost feels like she owes Cirie one, and she owes her sitting next to her at Final Tribal Council, and may the best woman win at the end. And I just love that she had her back in that moment. Like, even if Cirie beats her, she's going to go to the end with it no matter what. I thought it was beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean Cirie had that happen to her in Micronesia. Heroes versus Villains, they didn't get the chance to play together because Cirie gets idled out of the game, and JT flipping, like JT screwing over so many people in his Survivor career. And just for that to come full circle is amazing. So, Lindsay?
I agree with everything you all three said, and it was very emotional. I'm with you, Michael, on that one, and just with all three of you and what you said, I will just add that there's a reason that the All Women's Alliance has been a problem in Survivor, or something a lot of people have worried about for years, and it's spread over to a lot of other reality games. And the reason that people get worried about it is because Cirie and Parvati.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere without women's alliances getting brought up as like a fear for everybody. I feel like in every season now there's a woman that gets referred to as the Parvati. I mean, we're just about to cover South Pacific on the channel, and literally in that season someone gets called Parvati 2.0. Like, it's crazy how much this affects every single season in Survivor history. So
there is only one. There is
True.
only one Parvati.
Only one Parvati.
That is true. That is true. So, but yeah, we are going to get now to the final immunity challenge, which is, as Australian Survivor likes to refer to it, the torture challenges. As we're going to get the challenge from the original Brains versus Brawn, that Haley one, where it's like you're standing on like the sharp pegs and like holding like your weight. And again, I can't imagine how painful it is on like the soles of your feet to have like these sharp like spikes sticking into them and like having to stand on them. And like I feel like I definitely would be like Luke in this challenge and would be like screaming out in pain as they continue to dig deeper into my feet.
It looked like something out of the Wicker Man. It was ridiculous. Some kind of cult. Yeah, Australian Survivor. I loved Cirie and Parvati's reactions, seeing what Australian Survivor considers a final immunity challenge, this torture chamber. And yeah, I mean, Luke was just so screwed. I want to talk positively about Luke because I love Luke, but I just don't know what he was thinking going into a final four with these people. Like, what chance did he have? Parvati's obviously winning.
Yeah, you knew that as soon as you saw this challenge. You're like looking at who's on the table in this challenge, and Parvati's like, obviously we've talked about last week, I think in our recap, we talked about how like Parvati is so good at these endurance challenges. Really, her and Haley, in my opinion, are the two best that I've seen competing in endurance challenges, and like these people willingly took Parvati through to this point.
I love that Michael says that, because I swear to God, every time I watch Australian Survivor period, I'm always thinking to myself, if I'm in the final immunity challenge and I bring someone like a Parvati, I know I'm screwed, because every time I watch these, I already know, like, being a bigger dude, I'm effed if I have to do something like that. Like, my feet might just go right through the goddamn pegs, like how I'm watching it. I would be done in like probably quicker than Cirie in that type of challenge like that. I'd be like screaming.
Yeah,
there's so much weight.
I couldn't do this. So
That's
Lindsay.
like the ones where an American you have to like hold your hands and you have
Yeah.
to beat like on the pegs and they get smaller and smaller. I'd probably just fall right off after the first
Yeah.
one because you can only support so much weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like, I mean, American Survivor's kind of gone away from like these types of challenges more so like than they used to, and yeah, I think that's a bad thing. Like you're saying, Lindsay. Like I think Australian Survivor knows what made American Survivor so good back in the day is they're gonna keep these like endurance challenges of how much do you want it and how much pain are you willing to put yourself through.
You don't always need these and challenges. It'd be cool to watch just someone, people struggle through literal pain. Just those are a challenge in itself, and it sucks that U.S. kind of, pushed to the side a little more. But
Yeah, absolutely. Lindsay, thoughts?
Yeah, it's difficult to compare. So like just going water skiing for example. Like if you're a light person, it's really easy to water ski. I love water skiing. But if you're someone that's never done it before, if you're someone that's a different sort of weight, it is way more difficult. Like even if you're very physically fit, the more you weigh, the harder it is.
Mhm.
So Parvati was very set up for this challenge, the same way that she would be set up to water ski.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It just kind of baffles me. I'll get into it now. Like I feel like I just don't understand why they took Parvati this far. There's been opportunities to take a shot at Parvati in this season when she hasn't been expecting it, even when she's had these advantages, and they still haven't taken a shot at her. Again, Parvati is a great player, so she's able to navigate situations, but there's absolutely points where they should have taken the shot.
that's where they murdered their resumes, man. Literally, the fact that Parvati was never like going home, travel is just mind blowing. I mean, that's where Luke loses it too. I mean, especially when like she made so many great claims. Like I didn't tell Cass about the last sentence of my immunity, and she's like, oh my god, like she just kept like the fact that she had this just absolute resume compared to where Luke was like, oh, I made her tear it up. Harv's like, okay, I just built more trust with you, and you still kept me around. You know what I mean? Like she just had everything, and Luke was just screwed.
Yeah,
I don't know if maybe it's like a hubris thing with Luke, where Luke is kind of like a Shawnee figure, where the argument has always been if someone like Luke gets to the end, they just win because he's super charming, super social, and everyone likes him. Same with Shawnee. I don't know if maybe Luke was just buying into that belief that if he just has to get to the end, it's an Australian show, he's got Australians on the jury, he wins if he gets there, and he's just maybe underestimated the game that Parvati has played. And also, like, we have the benefit of the edit. Maybe Parvati has hidden a lot of what she's done, and that she has the reputational threat, but maybe from what they've seen in the game, Luke didn't see a lot of what Parvati was doing and maybe didn't consider her the big threat that she was, even though it was plainly obvious to us as viewers watching it. I guess he just underestimated Parvati's game.
Yeah.
Michael, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I agree with what you said. My question is, do you think it was intentional or not intentional that Parvati set the jury to be the way that it was? Because the jury was for sure in her favor. Do you think that was an accident? Or do you think it just happened, given what you said previously?
I think for Parvati's part, it was completely intentional.
Okay.
I mean, Parvati was leading and pushing pretty much every vote, right? Like, I think maybe just they didn't see it that way. Luke even says in this episode he has been off the ball. He has been out of the loop on what has been going on, and for some reason not seeing that Parvati has been building up this jury that is very pro Parvati, and like especially someone like Lisa, Parvati knows if Cirie gets to the end, that is a vote for Cirie.
Mm-hmm.
But like Parvati being super emotional about the Cirie situation, she has Cirie's vote. Cirie's not there anymore. She by proxy has Lisa's vote.
Yep.
As she knows she had. Like I think Parvati knew exactly where her votes were, and I think Luke was just wrongly assuming it was going to be like last standing Australian. I know Janine was there too, but in terms of win equity, like this is Luke's game to win, and Shawnee, Kirby, and the rest of the Australian tribe, they weren't just basing their vote on country loyalty. They were basing it on the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I feel like Kirby could have been a vote for Luke because I guess they've worked together before, but also the fact like Luke also underestimated the fact that Kirby literally was like smitten by Parvati, like smitten in the fact like
Who isn't?
yeah, I mean Parvati knows how to flirt with everybody, man, woman, just like anybody. That's Parvati's skill in this game. And you know, even for someone like Kirby who's never watched the show before, I also think that works against Luke as well because he hasn't seen really much American Survivor. I don't think he hasn't seen Parvati's amazing games in Micronesia and especially Heroes versus Villains, where she's really dominated those games. So I absolutely think that's something that Luke underestimated, and I just think people should have gone into this game, and I guess they obviously don't know. I mean, they can assume like certain people will be there that they've seen, but like I feel like they should kind of study up on other seasons. So, but they just didn't for whatever reason. So yeah, I mean, so we get into this after this immunity challenge. Parvati wins. We're gonna get into this tribal council where basically Cirie and Parvati are gonna try to convince Janine to turn on Luke. It's this big storyline that I do appreciate. Of like Luke has been in this situation before, where Luke has tried to get someone to go to fire for him. In season 4, Pia ended up betraying Luke. So to ended up going to win the game. And so, you know, I do appreciate in this situation, like Janine isn't going to betray Luke. She knows that storyline. She witnessed it. So in this situation, she is going to honor her deal with Luke and end up sending him to fire. And poor Cirie is going to go to her second fire making challenge of the season, her third in her Survivor career that she's going to lose. So what are your guys' thoughts on this this final fire making challenge to send Cirie out?
It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. This was an epic fire making challenge. This was like one of my favorite fire making challenges I've ever seen in Survivor because it kept like alternating. I was like, Luke's got it. Oh my God, Cirie's coming back, and each fire kept like going up and then extinguishing, and just the emotion of it, like it kept cutting to Lisa, who's like holding back tears for the entire fire making. Like, oh man, like if Cirie is just maybe the most unlucky Survivor player in the history of Survivor, where she always goes out in these just heartbreakingly brutal ways, but that's also why she's so beloved, and this is just another example. And maybe if she got to the end and won, we wouldn't get her on 50, so I guess maybe it works out for the best.
Maybe. I mean, I'm just expecting 50 that Cirie is gonna again go out in a really heartbreaking way.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm not expecting her to win finally. I mean, to me, Cirie already got her like win finally in Traitors, where she finally dominates the game from start to finish, and nobody takes her out in that season either. So, unfortunate here, but she did at least get a win. Any other thoughts, Austin, Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, we talked last podcast how we felt this could end. I mean, I literally was on the other side of maybe Janine might, you know, release him to the jury just because maybe that's finally something on her resume. But obviously, she's like really honed into this loyalty narrative. So I guess that's the main reason why she doesn't, right? But I don't know. I was mostly curious on what she was going to do because I literally think she said something like she already feels like she's kind of screwed going into the final tribal anyway. So why not? And I don't know. I kind of agreed with her on that. So I was kind of just ready for the fire making challenge, and you know, it ended how it did, which it was a really good one. It was very entertaining. Cirie actually was like really in it. So yeah, I would have been really happy if she won that because it probably makes the final tribal even more enjoying her winning there and making it there. So, I mean, kudos to her for making it really good. I think it's also really funny how they're just, after it's done, they're talking, and then it like as she finishes her sentence, the fire eats it up. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
there it is. Everyone's like, yay.
Yay. Lindsay, your thoughts on this final fire making for Cirie?
I really wanted Cirie to win, to be honest with you guys. If I were Janine, I would have cut Luke immediately instead of having this happen. And Cirie is just somebody that you want to hug. Like, you wanted her to succeed. Everybody wants her to win. And that's probably why she would cut me first and everybody else. That's why she's so good at this game.
Yeah. I think for Cirie, I think her mistake in this game was definitely letting Lisa go, because she had like someone who was gonna just let Cirie do whatever, just to see her win. But also like Lisa had kind of blown up her capital at that point, with wanting to quit and whatnot. So Cirie has no choice but to kind of let her go, to save face with everybody else. So, yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate. And JLP snuffs his last torch ever, unfortunately. So much more symbolism in this situation. It just sucks all around for JLP to snuff Cirie as his last person ever, and just to also again get Cirie getting her torch snuffed for the 5th time. So
Very well said.
yeah.
I have a crazy theory. I don't think it would have worked, but this relies entirely on Luke reading that Parvati's going to win the game, which I don't think he did. But what if Parvati and Cirie just want to get to the end together? What if Luke goes to them and says, look, Janine is not voting with you. She's voting with me. She owes me, and she's going to do it. Janine does not need to win the game. She's a very successful woman. She's doing it out of loyalty because she wants me to get there. What if I could guarantee you both final tribal, and we all vote for Janine?
Ooh.
And Luke goes into final tribal as the sole Australian player. They might not have done it, and he might have gone in at 2-1-1 or something crazy. But like, I think if he did that, he at least has something he can argue, and maybe he has a chance. Because also maybe, it's not clearly Parvati. The votes between Parvati and Cirie could be split. Lisa's going to vote for Cirie. Cass is probably voting for Parvati. So maybe Luke sneaks in with the split vote between the US players at Final Tribal. I think that was his only chance, and I'm curious how that would have worked out.
Yeah,
I really like that, because like that was my whole entire thing at this Final Four watching it. I'm like, I really think they need to turn on each other, because I think it just helps their case in both directions, right? But they were so like gun ho on the let's stay Aussie strong that I don't think that those narratives ever came to each other, right? Like Janine, if as much as I wanted her to get rid of Luke, that almost just her entire final jury or like speech is completely like different if she does go for Luke there, because her whole entire speech is based around loyalty and not screwing like Luke over, which if she screwed him over, I have no idea what she would have been saying, otherwise. Like, what? Oh, I screwed Luke over. I took him to the end and needed to, blah, blah, blah. Or in another case, like Luke, like, yeah, let's get rid of Janine. Now I have this vote. Maybe there's 2 splits on these, girls. But again, who knows what happens at that final tribal also. I definitely think it is way closer, like Michael's, assuming also. So
Yeah, Michael, I agree with you. Like, just counting the votes, Cirie is now on the panel. She's not part of the jury, but now that Janine is, like, I guess Luke is gonna have Janine's vote. He already had Sarah's, so we have 2 right there. I think there's a good chance he gets Shawnee's as well. I'm not sure if he would get Kirby's vote, but I think that might have won him the game if he did what you just said.
Yeah, he definitely could have won the game at that point.
I do think it's unlikely, because I don't actually think they would have gone with it. I think they still would have voted Luke, and he would have went home anyway.
That's true.
But like if he could have convinced them, I think it's worth doing at that point, because he's not going to win regardless. Like, you might as well take the shot. But he clearly didn't read the room that he wasn't going to win the game, I guess.
Yeah. Unfortunate. But again, I think Luke could have made other plays sooner in the game to actually undermine Parvati and Cirie, get Parvati out, obviously. But he didn't do that. Well, Cirie is going to go. We are going to get to our final tribal council of the season, of the greatest global showdown on Earth. And so, basically, we are going to get to the final tribal. And yeah, Parvati basically argues everything Luke tries to argue for her own case, and basically undermines everything Luke says. And Luke tries, but he just can't argue anything that Parvati did worse than him, or that he did better than her. And then Janine tries to argue something and gets immediately shut down by Sarah, which is, yeah, I mean, good on Sarah for shutting down everything Janine tried to claim. But I mean, Janine had a losing battle because no one's going to give the CEO of her own company that already makes so much money, no one's going to give her $1 million, I don't think.
I mean, I'll just start it off because I don't have a lot to say in the final tribal because I was kind of just, I wouldn't say 100%, but I was really leaning towards Parvati at this point winning it. I do think Luke gave it a good run for what he was up against.
Mm-hmm.
I think the assumption here is clear that the social awareness of how effing good Parvati was doing was just not, up to par. And I mean, I've never watched Janine, so like this was my first taste of her, and I'm excited to go watch her first season now because I do respect how she played this game. It's just it obviously wasn't up to the level of the other two. They were just doing probably every goddamn day they were trying to stir something up new, whereas Janine wasn't keeping up with it. And maybe it was because she kind of got in the firing lane a little too much. With that jury was just kind of bitter towards her. So yeah, she tried, but I mean that jury just as soon as they started shutting her down left and right, I was like, yeah, that's a horrible sign. But yeah, good tribal, good. I think it was a great finish, great season overall for a type of cast like this.
Yeah. Michael, Lindsay.
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, I completely disagree. I think Janine played a much better game than Luke. I think she actually made moves and was on the right side of votes. She was the crux behind getting Kirby out of the game.
That's
and
true.
She actually did have things that she could argue, and Luke was completely oblivious throughout most of the thing. I think Luke was getting by on reputational popularity.
Yeah.
I don't see what he actually did other than make the end. But I think Janine was hard done by. Like I don't think that Sarah blasted her correctly. I think it was very unfair. When Sarah's coming at Janine and saying, you broke up this, you broke up that, and Janine is saying you are responsible for your own actions. All Janine did was tell people what was going on at camp. And when Kirby's coming at her and saying, you know the type of player I am, you know that if you tell me that, I'm going to go after her, it was like, yep, you did that. Janine just gave you the information. You can't blame Janine for what you then went on to do. They didn't want to take out Sarah. You did it. I don't think it's fair to blame Janine. And I think what Janine did after that was to stabilize in the best way she could, and she took out a big player, and she actually made moves and affected the game. I loved seeing Janine again. I will hear no godmother slander. Janine is one of the greatest. I love her to death.
Yeah, I think Janine, I think people who haven't seen Janine's season, Austin, you got to go watch Champions versus Contenders too, because I do think Janine, I think it's also different circumstances. Janine knew nobody in her first season. Because it's a newbie season with the exception of Luke in that season. But she knew nobody and she played a really good game in that season. And then here she has relationships from that season with David and Luke. So it's a completely different situation in my opinion. So Lindsay?
I get what both of you guys are saying. I'm kind of leaning toward agreeing with Michael on this one because the reason to not give Janine the money because she's CEO, very fair. Parvati's made a ton of money too.
That's true.
So, I do think Parvati played a better game though.
Yeah, 100%. I think, yeah, Parvati played the best game by far, but I do agree like Luke wasn't on the right side of the votes for the first part of this game. Like he had no idea what was going on. Like I mean, I guess I'd argue he knew George was on his way out the door, and just kind of agreed with Janine so that he didn't break her trust at that point. But like, yeah, he was just he finally got on the same page as what was going on in the game, like halfway through. So I don't know. Like this is definitely not Luke's best game. So yeah, Parvati does end up becoming the third two-time winner in Survivor history. So good on Parvati. Again, I think people should have taken the shot though her from the beginning. I think people made really bad moves from the get-go. I think Rob Bentley tried to take the shot at Parvati, tried to get people to understand that they needed to do something, and they just chose not to do it. I'm not saying he did it the right way, because I think the way he went about it definitely was the bad way to do it, but I understand what Rob was trying to do. And it just didn't work, and people didn't listen, and it completely would work against them later on. So also, like, I honestly think not that things were rigged for Parvati at all, but I do think things were set up that would be in her favor, because I feel like they cast less men than women this season, regardless if that's something that they intentionally did or things. I'm leaning towards they probably didn't necessarily plan for it to be uneven genders. I have to think they didn't plan on that, but I don't know. We don't know what happened. I think I have to believe Ferris was in line to get cast for this season, because I feel like he made Cheeky. I think that's probably just Ferris trolling though, because he made Cheeky like things on posts on social media of like he's going to go get cast or he's going to go play or something. I don't know why Ferris wasn't on this cast though, for whatever reason. I'm trying to think of. I feel like Matthew from UK was on the cast list, and then all of a sudden he was off. So I don't know why those two weren't on the cast to even up the tribes and the gender ratio. But I do feel like it's unfortunate that we're not having even genders, and you have two women that are known for having the Black Widow Brigade, the most successful female alliance, and you're immediately putting the guys at a disadvantage from the start. Not to say Parvati could have screwed it up, but it's Parvati. She's not going to. So she's going to use it to her advantage. So I just feel like that's the unfortunate part of that this season from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there were signs, man. Like, the entire pre-merge, Parvati's name was voiced up, but never action taken at her. Like, at the end of the day, they had all the opportunities in the world to do something, and nobody did it, right? So,
True.
I mean, you had to have just thought to yourself, the closer you got to Final Tribal, the more unlikely you're winning against her, and it just never came off. I mean, you get to that Final Three, and Parvati's just listing off a goddamn resume that's just advanced compared to the other two. It's just, at the end of the day, you should have done something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Michael, Lindsay?
Go ahead, Michael.
Was it slightly weighted in terms of a game that Parvati succeeds at? Yeah, sure, but it doesn't. The other players had plenty of opportunities, like Austin said, and they didn't have to align with it. They didn't have to go along with the kind of game that Parvati wants to play. But Parvati, from day one, took control of the tribe, and not a single person, with the exception of Rob and kind of half-assed maybe Tommy, did anything to go against Parvati. She built connections and she embedded herself within her tribe, and not just the world tribe. She had great connections in a short amount of time with people on Australian tribe that wanted to work with her, and she moved between alliances. She was in an alliance with Shawnee and Kirby, and then she shifts to an alliance with Luke and Janine. Parvati moved her way through this game like so expertly, and I think I know you're not saying that it was rigged to her. It was purely on her thing. There was a slight maybe advantage right at the beginning, but she got there based on her own gameplay. And like you said, there are so many opportunities to take Parvati out, so many. And we talk about the amazing mislead and bluff of stealing the idol and making them believe that she was untouchable. She made every single person in that game believe she could not be touched. And that is expert level Survivor gameplay. And there's not many people that can do it. Parvati did it. And now she's a 2-time winner because of it. And I say, well done.
Yeah, I agree. Lindsay?
Very well done to Parvati. Kind of A and B points. Like, if I was playing this game, I would fall for it. I'd vote all three of you out if I had to, if Parvati told me to. She's that influential. Like, she's that good at the game. Then she'd cut me. Like, and I'd probably vote for her to win. Like, she's that good at the game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what were you saying, Lindsay?
Yeah, and then twofold, talking about her Survivor skills and whatnot. Is she not Tony at Winners at War? Like, or even Kaguyan going back to the original season with the Super Idol? Like, she gave up all the threats and she didn't let any, you could not read it on her at all.
Yeah, I mean, and when the idol bluff happened, I didn't even realize it at first. These guys can vouch for that. Like, I was like, oh, did she what was happening with the fine print there? But then I was like, oh, it's a bluff. So I would have fallen.
She bluffed you.
Yeah,
she bluffed the audience.
Yeah, I would have fallen for it. So I would have been in the same situation. So I can't deny Parvati is a great player of this game. She 100% deserved to be a 2-time winner. So I'm not going to sit here and say she didn't deserve it. She did. And I think she did want to work with Rob in the beginning. So I will walk that back a little bit and be like, she did try to work with Rob and then he immediately threw it back at her. So I'm not saying that people didn't have opportunities or they should have taken the opportunities and she played poorly. Like, she played amazingly and the other people played poorly. So, like, Rob should have actually worked with Parvati and not thrown her under the bus immediately. Like, I don't know what Rob was doing, and I think he even recognized that. But I guess in terms of this season, though, like, I want to see this theme again. I think it's an incredible idea. It's just unfortunate that, like, we're not going to get another JLP season unless, I mean, there are rumors of, like, some sort of deal being worked out with and Australian Survivor, but I don't know if that's actually true. If that's actually going to happen, I would love to get JLP back. We'll see how David does next season as a host, but I am excited at least for some of the players we're going to get back again, and we'll see how the new cast does. But yeah, I think it's not my favorite season of all time, but it is a good season. I do think I probably would enjoy Titans versus Rebels more of just the Australian seasons off the top of my head. I probably would slot this in maybe behind that, maybe just above Heroes versus Villains, but I do also enjoy that season just because what George pulled off there almost is pretty masterful as well. So, your guys' thoughts?
I mean, it's very difficult to rank it because I mean we're talking about 10 episodes versus 24 episodes,
right.
And so I really enjoyed it, but it did feel fairly obvious which way the wind was blowing from quite early. I was hoping, even though I wanted Parvati to win, I was hoping there'd be some kind of wrinkle in that, but I'd say I enjoyed Heroes versus Villains, Titans versus Rebels. Champions versus Contenders is still my favorite season of the show. 2, not 1. I'm not an idiot.
2, definitely,
So yeah, I'd slot it like somewhere around there. Even Brains versus Brawn was a lot of fun. I don't know. It's a difficult one to rank. I struggle with placing it. I need a rewatch.
Yeah, I think I need a rewatch too. Honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I think at some point I'll definitely sit down and rewatch it all the way through. But I do think I heard it from other people. Like, it's so obvious from the very beginning Parvati's winning because they didn't really try to hide it. I feel like Australian Survivor, they struggle with hiding their winner edits a lot of the time, and they make it pretty obvious who's winning. Heroes versus Villains was kind of the exception because we thought George was pretty much winning that season, and then he falls short at the end. So otherwise, I feel like it's been pretty obvious for the winner. Austin,
This
Lindsay.
was the David and All Stars edit.
Yeah, 100%. Austin, Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean, Michael took it out of my mouth. I mean, I struggle ranking this mostly because it's like a mini, right? You got not even half, way more than that, like days chopped off. So it's kind of hard to rank it. I'd definitely give it like my mid tier ranking. It's like somewhere in the middle. I mean, I only enjoyed it so much, probably because of Parvati and Luke mostly. I liked, Janine and I mean Kirby, but outside that, I was kind of just like whatever. Cass actually was really enjoyable too, but
I like Cass a lot. Yeah,
Good
good
can't
choice.
forget her. But yeah, I mean, outside that, I mean, if it was longer and like more days to it, I'd probably have it a little higher just because there would be more time for players to kind of execute things. I like to, at least personally, I like to think that the reason Parvati was just so gun ho and shot out of a cannon basically to win was mostly because of the days played. Maybe people didn't have enough time to be aware of what she's doing. I don't know, but yeah, at the end of the day, I'd probably rank it in the middle. Enjoyed it. Not something I'm like telling my friends about, but
Yeah.
I mean, I would tell them to go watch it, but I'm not telling them like I love it.
I'd probably put it lower after talking it through, but yeah.
I would
Lindsay?
like some kind of season like this to be like not maybe all these winners, but maybe like returnees and like a version of returnees, like each group's like better players who maybe didn't make final tribals or make it insanely far away. Like for example, a Warner could be like one I'd like to see back, or like is it Chappies? I would like to see those type of players compete against like USA's guys who maybe got far but didn't win. I don't know. Like I'd like to see some type of version like that. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, more South Africa players, some UK players. Finally, get Doug, Matthew, Tanuke, Chris, like some of those people from that season. And then I don't know, probably I guess some versions that maybe aren't English speaking and we have no idea who they are because they could be as good as Cass. So,
Or as bad as Tommy.
Poor Tommy. No, I mean, the edit did not really give him anything, and I don't really know that he was really given anything, and that's why they didn't give him much. So, Lindsay?
I really enjoyed watching the people. Like, I've always been a fan of Luke, so watching him play was really enjoyable. I do think he could play a better game, but I still was there. I wanted to make the final travel cancel the whole time. Same with a lot of other players. Just out of curiosity, for all international versions of Survivor, do the three of you have a favorite player or favorite season?
I'd probably say just the international ones. I'd probably slot this below Titans versus Rebels and Heroes versus Villains. Now that we're talking about it, maybe Champs versus Contenders too as well. Favorite international players, probably Chappies, Ferris. I'd probably
U.S. Survivor as well. Like just your personal favorite.
Oh,
You
U.S.
say
Survivor.
Malcolm, it's okay.
Yeah, well,
any Survivor.
Malcolm, Ferris, Chappies would probably be like my picks across those South Africa, Australia, and U.S. It's probably those three. So those would be my picks, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's seen me on here, I talk about him pretty much 24/7. Dirty Harry is like my all-time favorite Survivor player. I just love how much fun he is. I love a player that just goes out there and enjoys himself. He was a complete character. He made crazy decisions, but he just played big, and I just adore Harry. And even more exciting, rumors are he's back in the next JLP-less season, and if there's one thing that can make me happy with JLP leaving, which I'm not happy about it at all, but if it means I get Dirty Harry back, I will take it, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. Our first ever Survivor interview as well. So
awesome.
Oh, what a dream that was.
Yeah. Michael got him for us. So
good job, Michael.
Let me go.
Yeah, Austin, your picks for favorite players?
I mean, I love my Tony and Sarah.
Yeah.
I've always loved them. They were like my first players I ever really cared about, and I almost take their strategy and kind of use it as a guideline for myself. So it's kind of my people right there. And then Shane from UK is just, I don't know why I love that guy so much. More from his first time being out there than the second. I think it's UK, was it season 5 that he
Or
started
South
out?
Africa?
Or South Africa, sorry.
Shane Hatim, yes.
5? Was it?
I was thinking who?
Yeah, I was like, Shane from South Africa 5, and then
5, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved him on that. And then I guess my favorite international one's probably the battle of like, what was it, the pre-merge versus merge kind of?
Yeah, the Return of the Outcasts. Yeah, that was
I
a
love
really
that theme for some reason, and
it's a good
the
theme.
fact that they all played so goddamn gun ho was just awesome. So, I mean, those are probably like my picks.
Yeah, I love that theme. I'd love to see it return for US Survivor, but who knows if they'll actually do something like that, because I feel like they don't want to take it from international. Michael?
I just had a really fun thought for Australia versus the world that we could get. We have said for so long about players like Todd, Vesepia, people that have been forgotten. What if this is how we get a winners season with, we could have Pia back, we could have Christy back, winners at war, Australia versus the world, bring Todd in, bring Vesepia in, Chris Doherty, I've always thought is underrated. Like, there's so many we could get Dino in. Oh,
Yeah.
this is so much fun. We could get Dino. The love of my life, Nicole, she could come in and play from South Africa. Like, oh, we should do that. Not that we have any say in what's going to happen, but we should do that.
Yeah, I'd be down. Get David, and well, David's retired now, but and he's hosting, but get Rob Bentley back out there again. Like so I don't know. I think he said he would want to play again and get redemption, but we'll see.
He needs it.
Yeah.
Who's
so
Nicole again? Michael? I don't remember what season she was on.
Nicole from
Immunity Island.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, Chappie's season.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Michael's love.
She's out of my league. It's fine.
Fair. Most women that I like from Survivor are probably out of my league too. So
same.
I thought you were gonna say most women are out of your league.
Most.
Am I the only married person on this panel?
I think so.
I'm single for life, Lindsay.
Oh my gosh. I'm
almost
celebrating my 7-year wedding anniversary next week. So
Congrats.
we're on bitches.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all for Australia versus the world. If you are wanting more Survivor content, we will be starting season 49 coverage up next week. So we will have a draft for that. That's going to be interesting. Knowing that we'll have a couple players to talk about that'll be in season 50, and we already know who they are.
Welcome to the season of filler that is 49.
Oh no. Poor Riz God. But we'll get to that. We'll talk about 49 and everything that comes with that. So subscribe, like, share, comment, and we'll see you all next time for more Survivor on the Tribe of Nerds.